We're back with another study in sentiment. This time around, we're going to take a look at an FX pair. But if you look at the past sentiment study videos that we've done, when it comes to FX, we had the euro against the dollar, we had the pound against the dollar, we had the Australian dollar against the greenback, and then we had the yen against, well, you guessed it, the dollar. It's always been the dollar on the other side when it comes to these FX majors. And there are times where when we have movement in the FX market, it's really down to where the greenback is headed. Well, what if we took a look at a pair where it doesn't involve USD? In this case, we're going to look at the euro against the pound. And normally I start off with where traders stand on our end, COT speculators, and then we plot it on a chart and see how things have progressed and take a look at how traders are tackling it. But a better idea of how to expect where traders are going to go when it comes to this pair, I'm going to have to actually start with the IG's trading platform. And I've pulled up here, this is Euro USD. I will get to Euro GBP in just a moment. And I've included a technical indicator. This is not a video on a technical analysis, but it's crucial to understanding why traders trade the way they do when it comes to Euro GBP. This is average true range. And essentially it's a measure of volatility, and it provides an average of the range. Long story short, a high ATR indicates high volatility, low ATR shows low volatility. Take a look at when it comes to Euro USD. And it's been, again, it's an average over 14 periods. This is a daily time frame, so we're talking about the daily ATR, what to expect over the course of a day. And you can see that it's been hovering around 60 points per day is kind of what you can expect. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to GBP JPY, one of the most volatile FX pairs that we got out there. And take a look at over here, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. I mean, you go further back, you're going to get even bigger mountains of volatility that can reach 2. That's how crazy this can get. So easily more than double the volatility that we're getting with Euro USD. And then afterwards, I'm going to switch over to Euro GBP. And take a look at this over here. It's around 30. So half of what you see with Euro USD, and anywhere from a fourth to a fifth of what we get with GBP JPY. Going to be very important in this indicator, because that's going to explain a lot of what we're going to see when it comes to traders. And with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started and take a look at sentiment. I'm going to start off with IG client sentiment. As always, this is week on week. Outer circle start of this week, inner circle start of last week. So heavy buy territory, 74%. A notch lower from 75% at the start of last week. Not far off extreme buy territory, 78% and above usually considered extreme buy. What about COT speculators? Now, I want you to take these figures at times with a grain of salt. The majority sell territory dropping from 63 to 60%. The thing to note when it comes to COT speculators in Euro GBP, first off, you don't have a lot of lots or a lot of contracts. And as a result, with the volumes lighter, you're going to see some big movement when it comes to positioning at times that may or may not reflect what you're expecting. The other item to note is that a part of it is, you do have those who are positioning the same way, clients on our end will position for a certain move. But there's also the matter that there is a significant portion that might be trading, going for the arbitrage. So if they are, and I've done a video on Euro USD sentiment, if COT speculators are heavy to the buy side for the euro, and they are, and if they're near the middle on the pound, or recently they've shifted to majority buy, but let's just say they're near the middle on GBP USD. So doesn't that mean that net you would anticipate, if you're long the euro and against the dollar, and you're near the middle on the pound against the dollar, doesn't that mean net you're going to be long euro? Not if you're doing an arbitrage, because what that means is if you want to balance the three out. So if you're long Euro USD and you're, for example, short GBP USD, you're going to have to go short Euro GBP in order to balance things out. But anyhow, the focus for this video is going to be a bit more on what client sentiment is doing in this case, because there's a bit more consistency in terms of how it works. So let's go and plot this onto the chart. This is the funnest part, right? And before I plot sentiment onto it, just want to show you guys, highlight the ranges over here. I mean, you're seeing this big move over here, but in all, from 87.50 to about 85.50. So this is a 200 pip move. But let's go ahead and put sentiment onto it. Once again, price, the candlestick chart corresponds to the right side of the chart. The dotted lines correspond to the left. You got the red line, which is the 50-50. Whenever you see the blue or green dotted line above, it means that they're majority buy. Whenever you see that they're below the red dotted line, it means that they're majority sell. So for example, the green dotted line here, these are COT speculators. Blue dotted is for IG client. So COT speculators, you can see that over here corresponding to the left side, around 34, 35% buy, which means majority sell around, 66% if it's 35 or 34%. So you can see that this entire period of time, majority sell, anticipating losses, or like I said, for other factors, but essentially anticipating losses when it comes to the pair's price. And when it comes to client sentiment, very, very, very predictable when it comes to range trading. Why? Because volatility is lower. Whenever volatility is very, very high, like you see with GBP, JPY, it's going to entice a lot of traders to think to themselves, okay, I don't want to go opposite a move because it's so volatile. Maybe I want to go with it. So they start going for breakouts or momentum. You see some more trend traders because they want to pick up on some sort of mini trend that's happening in the pair. When it comes to Euro GBP, you're not getting that. Volatility is so low that a lot of times it's always about range trading and going opposite the move. So it's a very, very classic story of, price goes up, you see the longs get out, shorts initiate, the buys goes majority sell. It's below the red dotted line, so the majority short. Price comes back down, the shorts start to close out and take profit, longs initiate, briefly goes back into majority buy territory, goes up to here. This time around, there, when it reaches slightly above the previous resistance levels, you're seeing that the buys at times reaching a bit higher, and then afterwards when price, here's the big unwind right over here. This comes down over here, you're seeing a lot of the shorts take profit, and especially because it came after higher highs, you see a lot of shorts take profit, longs start to initiate, and then comes this surprise move with price going down, or this trend move. I say surprise isn't surprise to a lot of those range traders who, they're initiating, they're attempting to average their way out at times, but it comes all the way down here. It's this squeeze right over here. And notice right over here, you have 5 days of relatively range-bound price action, but take a look at IG client sentiment, fixed, or relatively somewhat fixed. I mean, there's off by 1% or 2%. I mean, we're rounding it here. So not much of a change there. And that suggests that a lot of them gotten stuck initiating longs at higher price levels. So essentially, it's going to need some more stability here to entice them to use some of that last financial firepower over here, or at the very least, a recovery bigger than even up to over here to try and be able to undo some of that. Well, what I'm going to do though is, because some of you are going, oh, well, that was a trend move. How can no one see it coming? What's happening over here? I'm going to go ahead and zoom out to the weekly time frame, and just to give you guys a much better idea of what I mean by that. Because if you're just looking at a daily time frame and things are relatively range bound, the mentality is a short to midterm mentality because it's happening over the course of a few months. But what if over the course of many months you have a lot of relatively range bound movement? You take a look over here from around June. Overall, the way it's come back, and overall, you're looking at movement of around 300 pips from one end to the other, max, from highs and lows over a 3-month period. So with that in mind, that's really going to cement the thought process into traders that, market's not going to go out of whack, so to speak. Let's go ahead and plot sentiment onto it again. And again, this is the weekly chart. So every candle represents a week of price action. And when it comes to sentiment, that's the average client sentiment throughout the week. And you can see over here, when it was up over here, the range is moving back and forth into sell territory. Every time it comes back down, shorts get out, longs initiate, back and forth, and then comes this move over here, this relatively trend-like move for Euro GBP from 88 down into the 85. And you can see over here, that's what takes sentiment from cements sentiment into not just majority buy, but jumps into heavy buy territory. You're going to see these big jumps into heavy buy, heavy sell a lot more easily in something that's more range bound and then has a trend versus something that's always moving and always has significant volatility. And you can see that it takes quite a bit of time to try and average the way out, because you get stuck at even over here. You had this move, and then all of a sudden again, and then afterwards you start to see fresh longs start to initiate and try and average their way out of it. And it takes quite a bit of time until around September, end of September, beginning of October, where we finally see sentiment go back into majority sell territory, once again averaging the way. And then this is what we saw in the previous chart. You can see that big move well into heavy buy territory based on this pullback right over here. So, I've brought up sentiment, and I'm just going to go back to IG's trading platform. I've shown you on the chart when it comes to ATR. The goal behind ATR, again, this is not a technical analysis video. This is about sentiment, but a lot of times this is going to help to determine the mindset that a lot of traders have before you enter product. It's not just about you trading it and you knowing the anticipated volatility, the amount of volatility you can expect day to day, or even if you zoomed into 4-hour chart or zoomed out to a weekly chart, the type of volatility you can experience, but also to get a better idea of what traders who have been in it for a long time, they're not just looking at ATR, they've actually been feeling these moves on a day-to-day basis, to get a better understanding of what they've been going through and how they're going to react accordingly. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck out there. And as always, happy ticks.